Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another album review, and this time it's Just Won't Burn by Susan Tedeschi. I'm so hoping still to interview Susan to talk about this album, but she's currently on tour with the Tedeschi Jux Band, and with the time differences of me being in the UK, it's a bit tricky, but I'm still hoping to be able to do that. This album I've first bought on CD many, many years ago. It wasn't the first one I bought of Susan's albums, but it became my favourite. It's 25 years old, and I'll admit, I didn't know that this was a Grammy Award-winning album. It sold, I think it went platinum. I didn't know, because when I bought this, I was just getting into Derek Trucks, and I wanted to find out as much as I possibly could about all the different members of the band, and so I went backwards in time towards Susan Tedeschi's music. And this, I'm reviewing the vinyl version. The CD version, the one I've just showed you, is actually my original. The new CD version has extra tracks on it. This has the same amount of tracks as the original CD, but it's in a gatefold sleeve. It's absolutely with notes from Susan, and also an inner sleeve with lots of pictures and also credits as well. And I'll give you some bit of context, I think, with this. For those of you who might be new to Susan's music, or you're not, but you're thinking about getting this. There's an essay from Timothy White from Billboard magazine talking about the album, about what it meant, etc. at the time. But there's also a section on the album with some words from Susan, and I just want to read some of this out, really. But what she says here, I really, really like, and it puts into context when you play the album. It gives it extra connection to the human heart, really. She says, Just Won't Burn might seem like the album that started it all for me, but really it was a record in transition. I'd already put out a record called Better Days with my band, and we paid our dues on the resurgent Boston blues scene. I'd grown up listening to local folk and blues artists, but I really learnt my craft playing with female players like Andrew and Hayes, guitar, great player by the way, Annie Haynes on harmonica, at Johnny D's in Somerville. We learned the ups and downs of the business and life together. Women musicians helped make me who I am and gave me the confidence to continue when they moved on. They helped me build a foundation that kept me going. Making Just Won't Burn was a pivot. All of a sudden I was working with different groups of people, new musicians, new songwriting collaborators. We had no idea how it was going to turn out. And I think the thing that held it together was the blues. Blues is a language that I love. You can take it anywhere in the world and can communicate with people, which isn't necessarily true with other forms of music. And being a white artist in a black milieu, you just have to let the music speak. And she says here that the success of the album was a surprise, and the hype around the record confused things, but overnight she was competing for Best New Artist at Grammy with huge pop stars, etc. But sometimes when I look back on the 25 years since the release of Just Won't Burn, I think about the places I've been in, the adventures I've had, and I feel like Forrest Gump. I say, no, you're a basketball mom. You didn't do all that, but I must have. The blues has its demands, and you have to be honest, musically, emotionally, and personally. Above everything else, and that can lead to some uncomfortable truths, but the blues hasn't burned me. It hasn't hurt me. It's my main resource. I can express myself and get stuff out there about my life, or as BB always said, whatever ails you, the blues got me there. And I wanted to read that out because it helps put some importance behind how wonderful this album is. The first track on the album is Rockin' Me Right. Now, I've said this before with a recent review, I think it was the Stray one, where sometimes you put an album on and the first track tells you you're going to like the rest of it. I don't mean, there are some albums, the first track is really good and then you think, oh, the next one doesn't quite live up to it. But there was something about hearing this that made me think, gosh, I've bought something that's going to be awesome. Rock Me Right is a great rock song. It's a great opener. As I said, it is fantastic. The outro solos by Susan. Sean Costello plays the main solos on this. Great band, by the way. But it's Susan doesn't play in this way so much now, but this is a great rock song. Just a great blues rock song. Her voice is just fantastic. She sings like this still, but there's something about the attack from the guitars. It's just wonderful. It's a gutsy, bluesy vocal, and it is the track I play the most, I have to say, but there are many favourites on here. You Need to Be With Me, which is a Susan Tedeschi original, is almost got like a reggae R&B soul feel, but it's very much like Robert Cray. And there's quite a few tracks that are like Robert Cray. If you like Robert Cray's blues guitar playing and as an artist, you'll just move into this so easily. I haven't read on any interviews how much Robert Cray has influenced Susan Tedeschi, but without finding that out, there's obviously a connection, and why not? An absolutely superb artist. Little by Little is by Junior Wells. Susan plays lead on this. Great, fat, bluesy sound as well. It sounds like she's next to you with a little 30-watt amp and you're having a cup of coffee in the next chair. It really is like that. It Hurts So Bad, slow blues. This is one of my favourite songs. It really is. It's a heartfelt vocal. And what makes her such a fantastic blues singer is you feel the pain. And this is someone interpreting songs here. Is It Hurts So Bad? Who's it by? It's by Tom Hambridge. It's 4 minutes and 49 seconds long. So she's interpreting someone else's music, someone else's lyrics, but you feel as if you feel it. One of the things about blues music is that it applies to us all. As we go through life, we experience loss of different types, and we either harden our heart so that we don't experience that again, or we keep our heart open, which means we're an open target for feeling that kind of pain, the blues, again. And what Susan does here is create that in music. And that's why when you just don't listen to this while you're potting around the house or doing something, listen to it, just the music. Focus on your breath, literally, and you'll be there. It is that fantastic. Found Someone New is the original song. It's got some... one of the credits on here says it features Norm, the screaming bird of truth, on bass. What a name. Fantastic. And then we've got Looking for an Answer, which is another favourite song of mine and also an original by Susan. She plays slide on this, and it's absolutely... Looking for an Answer. This kind of... I'm hesitating there because I'm remembering now when I played it this morning, it's got a very, very spiritual feel to it. And I love music that makes me think. I love music that makes me think beyond myself to the bigger questions in life. And Looking for an Answer is an absolutely superb song. It's 5 minutes long-ish, and I absolutely loved it. Next up is Can't Leave You Alone, which is the first track, side 2. It's an upbeat, soul-driven Robert Cray type song again. Adrian Hayes plays guitar on this, and it's just beautiful. The title track is next, Just Won't Burn, another original, and it's again beautiful. It's another one of my favourites. It's a beautiful... The notes just speak the blues. They really, really do. Mama, He Treats You, Your Daughter Mean. And again, very gospelish in places as well. But I absolutely love that. And then track number 10, which is Angel from Montgomery. This was another one I've put in brackets, favourite songs, because, again, I've owned this album for years on CD. But having the vinyl album has made me play it, I guess... In almost in a different way. This is by John Prime, and it's a ballad. It's very soulful. It's just a beautiful song. It really, really is. And then the last one, First Point, is a classic blues shuffle very ZZ Top actually in places, but without the distortion. But absolutely wonderful song. So this is a great blues rock song. And if you're a fan of Tedeschi trucks or Derek trucks, I bet you this is in your collection already. But if it isn't, or if you don't even know who Tedeschi trucks are, if you're in the UK, or although the band have got a huge following here, but if this is a new artist, could you start here? You could, and it will be a great place to start. It's actually coloured vinyl. Actually, I forgot to mention that, didn't I? It's like on a green vinyl colour, but it's just wonderful, and the singing is brilliant. Her voice can go from there's that track on YouTube where she does it's a video where they do when the levee breaks, the Led Zeppelin song, and there's different people from around the world singing on different segments of this song, and Susan's on there, and her performance, guitar, vocals has just matured and become so much richer and wonderful. But this is where it started. Mainly, there was an album before this, but this is the one where it really took off for Susan. So this is the 25th anniversary vinyl edition. And it's out on Fantasy Records. There's a CD version with some demo tracks as well, but the vinyl one just has the original track listing. But it's great, as I said, it's a great gatefold sleeve, lots of stuff to read and look at on the inner sleeve. So absolutely wonderful. Really is. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here, thank you for supporting me and becoming a patron or buy me coffee, buy Ko-fi, or a YouTube member. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. So keep spinning those discs, stay safe everybody, and I shall see you on my next video.